miles, crecemos en número, en solo un trueno de horizontes, seremos miles, más y más allá, a través de la gran oscuridad, hasta que me convierta en rayos, y más allá. Una muy buena noche con todos ustedes, queridos participantes de este primer seminario internacional de medicina funcional y tradicional. Reciban la más cordial bienvenida a nombre del equipo de MsC Capacitaciones en este último día de capacitaciones. De igual manera, un saludo muy fuerte a nombre del Instituto Azteca de México, con su centro en Nexo en Ecuador, y la doctora Leslie Vanessa Salas, al igual que de la Asociación de Estudiantes de Medicina para Proyectos e Intercambios, AEMPI SPOCH. En esta noche y en este último día de seminario tenemos la grata compañía, nos acompaña desde Tailandia la doctora Nuntika Prommee, que estará acompañándonos a lo largo de esta charla que la estaremos desarrollando para todos ustedes. Es un gusto y un honor poder ser partícipe de este evento. Les recordamos que todas las charlas quedan en digital para quienes no se han podido conectar en este momento, y vamos a dar paso para arrancar esta tarde de seminario. De esta manera damos la bienvenida a la doctora Nuntika Prommee, conozcamos la trayectoria de ella. Bachelor of Science de Medicina Tradicional Tailandesa aplicada por la Universidad de Thammasat en Tailandia. Máster en Medicina Tradicional Tailandesa aplicada por la Universidad de Thammasat en Tailandia. Doctora en Filosofía por la Universidad de Thammasat en Tailandia. Conocimientos en análisis fitoquímicos de los medicamentos a base de hierbas tailandesas, extracción y aislamiento de compuestos puros de hierbas medicinales tailandesas. También en la parte de actividades biológicas en citotóxicos en la línea celular de cáncer humano, en antioxidantes, antimicrobianos y antiinflamatorios. Estudios in vivo de antipiréticos y hepatotoxicidad en ratas. Ha desarrollado sistemas de administración de fármacos de liberación retardada a partir del remedio de la medicina tradicional tailandesa. Un gusto poder compartir con la doctora Nuntika. Liz, te podemos escuchar.
This evening accompanies us Miss Nuntika Prommee. Her educational achievement from 2007 to 2010, she studied Thai traditional medicine in Faculty of Medicine, Thammasat University. So also she applied Thai traditional medicine Faculty of Medicine, Thammasat University in Thailand. She is Doctor of Philosophy. She applied Thai traditional medicine in the Faculty of Medicine, Thammasat in Thailand. Also visiting graduate student program, Drug Delivery and Innovation Center in the Faculty of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences in the University of Alberta in Canada. Her work experiences from 2013 to the present, she is lecturer, Division of Applied Thai Traditional Medicine in the Faculty of Public Health Nursing in the University in Thailand. Her research skills: she is phytochemical analysis of Thai herbal medicines, also extraction and isolation of pure compound from Thai herbal medicines, biological activities, cytotoxic, antioxidant, antimicrobial, and anti-inflammatory. She studied of antipyretic and hepatotoxicity in rats, developed of delayed release drug delivery systems from Thai traditional medicine remedy. So welcome, Nuntika Prommee.
Okay, thank you everyone and good morning again. Okay, today I would like to present the one part of my PhD project. The topic is the ethnopharmacological analysis from the Thai traditional medicine remedy as a potential antipyretic drug. Okay, let's start. Okay, this slide will be the topic. I will be calling. Okay, let's start to the introductions and literature details. Okay, the fever is the common side fever by enhancing the temperature above the length. The normal length is showed in the figure. When we get the fever, we can have the high temperature, sweating or chills. Okay, the cause of fever we can the most of cause of fever we can see the infections by 40% and then the malignance or an autoimmune disease and the other cause. Okay. Okay, I would like to present the mechanism of fever in the human when we get the infections by virus, bacteria, or fungus. It can into the cell cycle and pass through blood-brain barrier. It can release the cytokine or pro-inflammatory cytokines such as the IL-6, IL-1, and TNF-alpha. This cytokine can pass through the blood-brain barrier. It can increase the area of the hypothalamus, and it can increase the prostaglandin E2 in the brain. And then when the brain have the high concentration of prostaglandin E2, this one is can give the high temperature in the human body. Also, the now we can find the antihypertensive drug or analgesic to block or inhibition of the prostaglandin E2 in the human. Okay, so in the modern medicine, we usually use the acetaminophen or the paracetamol to relieve the fever because this drug you can buy very easily, and the adverse effects of acetaminophen when you use the long term it can have the hepatotoxicity in the human in high dose. Okay, and traditional medicine we are interested about the theory of fever in Thai traditional medicine textbook. We learn from the Thai scripture. The one scripture we call the Shantasat scripture. We describe about the characteristic of fever from the Tritatu. Okay, you can see this table. The symptoms of the fever have a lot of several symptoms such as the high temperature, headache, dehydration, sensation in mouth, about the gastrointestinal system, color of urine, general appearance, and psychology. And we can combine the traditional medicine with the modern medicine. Okay, my project I interesting about the fever from the beta elements, and we can escape by the next slide. This one shows the theory of fever in Thai traditional medicine. In Thai traditional medicine is the holistic health and natural approach of healthcare. The principle of Thai traditional medicine of human is the composed of four elements such as the earth, water, wind, and fire. And when the four elements of the body are the equilibrium, it will be held in the humans. In contrast, if an imbalance of four elements inappropriate behavior, such as the eating food too much, the overwork, overexercise, and when we got the stress too much, okay, this card can increase the fire element, the wind elements in their body. It may have an effect. A person have got a fever. In traditional medicine, you can see this picture when we have the imbalance of the cause of the disease. It can increase the fire elements and wind element in the body. Also, in Thai traditional medicine principle for treatment the fever, we are using the herbal medicine to decrease the fire elements, the wind elements. Also, we use the bitter and cold taste for relieve the fever. Okay, and then the theory of fever in Thailand traditional medicines, we use the data. We explain the last slide. We can understand the data again. The data consists of the pitta. This one is like the five elements we can see in the five element in the body, such as the metabolism in the body, such as the metabolism of digestion, the temperature control of the body, or increase the power of the body, and mechanism of uncomfortable and makes the metabolism of growing of age, such as the and oxidative stress and then the water elements like the wind element in the body, water like the blood circulations and nerve of all the bodies, and same heart like the water elements is a lighter liquid in the body such as the saliva or blood, lymph, urine, something like that. Okay, we we throw the last slide when we have the fever in the body, it can increase the pitta or the fire elements, and the pitta can affect to the water. It can increase the water or wind element in the body, and when the pitta and same heart increase in the body, it can decrease the same heart or the water element in the body. So we can need to find the Thai traditional medicine remedy to release the pitta and water element in the body. In Thailand, we use the bitter and cold and taste like fever remedy to treat the fever syndrome. Okay, and and the flavor of the spicy and fragrant is can to make the balance of water or wind element too. Okay, so my PhD is in anti-therapeutic drug group in the Thailand National List of Essential Medicines. In Thailand now we have the six Thai traditional medicine remedy such as the Kieo Hom remedy, Jantarila remedy, Prasa Pok Yai remedy, Mahanin Tan Thong remedy, Halak remedy, and finally Prasa Jandang remedy. This one I listed this one because this one the description is called reduction of the fever of okay and in Thailand about such as the powder, capsule or tablet. Okay, this slide show the dosage and administrations of Prasad remedy. Adult and children, we can take these medicines and use the vehicles such as the water or the jasmine flower water. And we have the warning and specification follow this figure. Okay. And then the Prasad Jandang remedy consists of the 12 pan-ingredient from Thailand, such as the Brunia macrophylla, Cistus aurantifolia, Salsipenia sapens, Darsina cochinchinosis, Helicopsis terminalis, Jasminum sambax, Camphilia gallenca, Ligatisum, Susvians, Mirenfella, Memmias, Siamnesis, Maristica vacans, and Nilabo Euchyphila. Okay. And this slide shows the proportion of Prasad Jandang remedy. You can see the 50% of Jandang or the scientific name is the Darsena cochinchinosis. This is the maintenance of Prasad Jandang remedy. Okay, and then we can proof of the pan ingredients of Prasad Jandang remedy, followed by the Thai traditional use and pharmacological activity group. We can proof about the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 group, followed by the Thai traditional use such as the anti-diabetes, anti-inflammatory, and wound healing. enhance the immune functions, common cold and influenza, dyspepsia, detoxification, pathogenic, and cardiotonic. This slide you can see the plan of Persatlandan remedy consists of the better and cold fever, taste like fragrance, astringent, spicy, and this one is can followed by the typhoid medicines. Okay, and this slide we can show the cancer related to fever in Thailand. When we show you about the Persatlandan remedy is the only Thai traditional remedy used for the toxic fever or the chronic fever from Thai traditional naturalists, and some Thai folk medicine describe the chronic fever as the origin from the cancer. Also, this the Prasattandan remedy is the interested for use and the antibiotic drug for liver and cancer treatment, followed by the Thai traditional doctor. Okay, this slide we are analyzing about the ethnopharmacological relation between the taste of fever and pharmacological of herbal ingredient of prasad zandan remedy. We can group the plan of the prasad zandan remedy for three groups. First one is the main drug. It is the rider zandan, and we can see the this slide. We zandan is have the better and cold taste in the this pan in Thai traditional use the antibiotic and anti-inflammatory and in skin blood circulation, and we have the scientific data support the Thai traditional use followed by this one. Okay, and the two groups of the pan ingredient of prasad and remedies is the secondary drug. This one is can support the symptom related with the fever, such as the seasonal opinion sulcan, linguistism, children, camphilia dalenska. You can see the secondary drug group have the flavor of the lighter astringent spicy. This taste of the drug is can the have the anti-inflammatory and in, anti-infections and increase the blood circulations of all the body, and they have the scientific support as well. Okay, the last one is the complementary drug. We have the complementary drug. This group we have the fragrance of the flavor of this drug. This group has the immune functions, increase the blood circulation, cardiotonic and pathogenic as well. Okay, so when we analysis of ethnopharmacological analysis of the plant ingredient and compare with the scientific support, we can devise the plant ingredient of Prasad and then you can see this table. The previous study they study about the nitric oxide inhibitions, prostaglandin E2 and TNF-alpha. Why we interesting about the three cytokine? Because the last slide, the mechanism of fever related about the pro-inflammatory cytokines such as nitric oxide, prostaglandin E2, and TNF-alpha. Also, the some traditional doctor interesting use the prostaglandin remedy as an antibiotic to cancer patient. Also, we research about cytotoxic against liver and bile duct cancer in cell line too. And now my present project I call activity. On the other hand, the Pasatsandan remedy has not studied in the biological and pharmacological activity. So I would like to study about the biological activity and pharmacological activity related to the fever and cancer. Okay, this is the overarm of my study, I study about the biological and pharmacological activities such as the antibiotics and hepatotoxicity of Basactindan remedy compared with the standard of writer acetaminophen and isolated the major compound of Basactindan remedy and development of the product to delay release the fever system for treatment of fever. Okay, this slide show the overall of my PhD project. Okay, okay, this one. And this one is the general information of my pen guardian. We can send to the natural library to improve the washer specimen number, and we are collecting the pen ingredients from the several parts of Thailand. Okay, this one is the first of all when we study on the biological activity or the pharmacological activity, we need to test the quality control of pen ingredient followed by the Thai herbal pharmacopoeia. I study about the loss on drying, total acid insoluble acid, and heavy metal. Okay, and this slide show the all of the pan ingredient will pass the standards of Thai herbal pharmacopoeia. Okay, and then we have the four extract from the Thai Pasatendang remedy. First of all, the boiling with water and macerated with the 95% ethylene extract and 50% ethylene extract. The last one we extract by the acid hydrolysis. Okay. Today I just present the biological activity part. First of all, we study on the nitric oxide inhibitions, prostaglandin E2 and TNF alpha. We use the macrophage cells or law 26/4.7 cell line. This one we purchased from ATCC and the cell culture in DMEM with the 10% FBS plus 1% P/S and incubate in CO2 incubator. Okay, the first one, the protocol of the nitric oxide productions. Nitric oxide production, we use the GIS assay for determine the nitric oxide production from cell line. We use the RP is the endotoxic. It can induce the cell to inflammatory phase. And then when we add the sample or extract, it have the anti-inflammatory activity. It can make the sample from the pink to the pink phase or the yellow. This one is the protocol of the nitric oxide production. Okay, again. And this one I want to show you about the preliminary result of the Basactindan remedy and its pan ingredients on LPS induced nitric oxide production from raw 26/4.7 cell line. You can see this one is the CS95. This is the most potent of nitric oxide inhibition. This one have the strong effect to anti-inflammatory system by the nitric oxide production. And we compare the acetaminophen on this one. Also, we can see this one is the Basactindan remedy of the 95% extract. This one the better than the acetaminophen as well. Okay, the next one is the protocol of the inhibition of prostaglandin E2 productions. The prostaglandin E2 production is like the main cytokine of the brain when we have the fever. Also, we need to fry the drug or the herbal extract to inhibit of prostaglandin E2 as well. This protocol we use the ELISA kit assay from Cayman. Okay, this one is the protocol of prostaglandin E2. We use the cell law 264.7 cell line the same to the nitric oxide assay. And the preliminary result, you can see this one is the acetaminophen as the standard stock. And we have the full herbal extract is better than acetaminophen, such as the Darsena cochinchinensis is the 95% extract and Pasactandan remedy hydrolyte extract and 95% Pasactandan remedy is 3 extract better than the acetaminophen. Okay, and we show with the IC50. Okay, and the last one is the inhibition of TNF alpha production. Is the TNF alpha or tumor necrosis factor alpha is the like the main cytokine about the acute inflammatory. If the extract have the exhibits of the TNF alpha, it can change the yellow to red. This one is the protocol of TNF alpha production. And then we show the preliminary result of TNF alpha compared with the acetaminophen. This one is the percent inhibition at the concentration of 100 microgram per ml of the acetaminophen. You can see this table. This the senile cochinchinensis of 95% ethanol and 95% ethanol of Pasactandan remedy and 50% Pasactandan remedy and hydrolyte of Pasactandan remedy better than the acetaminophen as well. Okay, this slide is the conclusions, comparisons of the biological activity about the nitric oxide, TNF alpha, and prostaglandin E2 productions of prostaglandin remedy and hence ingredient. You can see this one is very interesting about the 95% etheric extract of prostaglandin remedy show the T pathway of anti-inflammatory activity about the nitric oxide, prostaglandin E2, and TNF alpha show this extract better than the standard that when we compare with the ANOVA statistic. Okay. And also we have the form this slide the outcome and medicines, and now we are researching about the in vivo study about antipyretic and hepatotoxicity compared with the acetaminophen too, because we use the in vitro activity, and then when we have the result from the in vitro, we know the 95% etheric extract of Pasactandan remedy better than the acetaminophen. So we use the 95% Pasactandan remedy study in the in vivo. And when we get the result, we can show you again on the publication. Okay. From the outcome of this study, we can support the Thai traditional medicine or Thai folk medicine use the Pasactandan remedy as an integrated drug to use the patient in Thailand or patients of cancer in Thailand. Okay, the last one. Thank you everyone for your attention. Do you have any questions?
Agradecemos la participación de la doctora Bell. ¿Me confirmas, Liz, si me escuchas, por favor?
Sí, yes.
Perfecto, muchísimas gracias, Liz, sí podemos proceder a las preguntas que tenemos en el chat, por favor.
Perfecto. Okay, so excellent presentation,
Thank you.
Nuntika. Greetings from Ecuador, and it's a pleasure to meet you. So the first question, for medical students, what would be your recommendation to apply only this type or this kind of alternative medicine or combine it with conventional medications?
Uh, you mean how we can combine this traditional medicine with another drug, right?
Sorry, I can't listen well you in this moment.
Okay.
Okay, could you repeat, please?
Okay. Thank you for your questions. I'm not sure about the questions. I repeat that again. You question me about how we can apply the traditional drug combined with the another drug, right?
See, if you recommend it,
Like,
combine the alternative medicine with
okay.
conventional medication, for example, or
Ah,
conventional
okay, I
treatment.
see. Okay, I see. In Thai traditional medicines consists of the four major, such as the traditional medicine, we learn about the Thai sculpture, and then the Thai pharmacy, we learn about the herbal medicines or herbal remedy, and then the Thai massage. Do you know the Thai massage? The Thai massage, and the last one is the Thai midwifery. I think we can combine the alternative medicines such as the some pen in Thailand. We can use the same one in the China or the Ayurvedic. And when we told you about the three thought or the like the Pitta, Vata, and Semha, in the Ayurvedic have the this theory as well because I think the originally from the Thai traditional medicine, I'm not sure about that. It from originally from the Ayurvedic medicine too. This
Okay,
one
thank you.
is the answer for you. Uh,
Okay,
we can use together. Yeah, about the about the herbal medicines together.
okay, thank you. Bueno, aprovecho y traduzco. La pregunta que se le hizo es si ella recomendaría aplicar únicamente la medicina alternativa o combinarla con la medicina tradicional o con medicamentos convencionales. Su respuesta ha sido que ella sí recomienda que dependiendo de las situaciones o de ciertas circunstancias, se puede combinar la medicina alternativa junto con la medicina convencional o tradicional. So, another question. What is the
Okay.
biggest professional challenge you have faced?
The professional challenge. I think, can you repeat that again?
What is the biggest professional challenge that you
Uh,
have?
Professional challenge of the traditional medicine, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
in your professional.
I think the traditional challenge of the Thai traditional medicine when we integrate the Thai traditional medicines combined with the scientific support or when we have the good drug like the Pasatsandanividi, when we study in the in vitro and in vivo study, if we got the result is better than the modern medicines, it can used by the physician or modern doctor because in Thailand, the Thai traditional medicines, we use only just the Thai doctor is not the use in the marketing of or the market in the hospital in Thailand, we use just the specific clinic or specific hospital in Thailand. Uh, this is the challenge how we can use the Thai traditional remedy for widely in the marketing in Thailand. Also, I need if we have the study in the clinical Thai in phase 1, phase 2, or phase 3, maybe the Thai traditional remedy is can usually widely in the worldwide or in the market in the Thailand. Yeah.
Ok, thank you, Nuntika. Igual aprovecho para traducir. Se le preguntó que cuál ha sido el reto para ella dentro de su vida profesional o el mayor reto al que ella ha tenido que enfrentarse. Nuntika ha respondido que uno de los mayores retos profesionales ha sido justamente aplicar o ejercer la parte de la medicina alternativa en Tailandia. ¿Ya? Ha sido difícil para ella un poco esta parte de marketing o de ventas o de incluirla dentro de los hospitales, la parte de la medicina alternativa. So, that's all, Nuntika. Levin's Capacitaciones and Azteca Institute are so grateful for you, for your presentation. For us, it's a pleasure to meet you, and it's a pleasure to have you in this session. We hope that you enjoyed this Congress, and that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm really appreciate for invitation me for this conference. Hopefully we can see you again next time. Thank you.
Thank you again. You're welcome. So, Nuntika agradece su presentación, agradece a Livens por haberle dado la oportunidad y ella está muy agradecida y muy emocionada por haber podido participar de esta conferencia.
Thank you, muchísimas gracias, Liz. Thank you, Nuntika, y agradecerles por haber estado compartiendo con nosotros a lo largo de esta jornada que hemos tenido de capacitación, y de igual manera a la ingeniera Liz Carlos Amas, que ha estado compartiendo con nosotros a lo largo de esta charla como moderadora también y como traductora. Muchísimas gracias, Liz. No sé si nos das ese último despedido para Bel y poder cerrar esta sesión que hemos compartido con ella.
Bueno, nada, ha sido un placer ayudar, Eric. Es un gusto siempre poder acompañarlos. Nuntika, it's a pleasure for me to meet you.
Yeah, me too.
I hope you see again in the next opportunity with Livens or in wherever place. I'm from Ecuador in Quito. I'm a friend of Eric. And it's a pleasure help him in this time with the translator. I hope that you enjoy it, and that's all. Have a good day in Thailand. Here is night.
Okay, thank you so much. Hope to see you again too. I'm very appreciative of your invitation me for join this conference. Hope to see you again, and I have an experiment. Hope to see you soon. Bye
Bye bye. Eso es todo, Eric.
Perfecto, muchísimas gracias, Liz. Te agradecemos infinitamente a nombre de todo el equipo de Levens que nos hayas acompañado en esta noche de conferencias. A todos nuestros participantes tenemos unas rápidas indicaciones que vamos a darlas en un próximo video, pero por cualquier situación. Y también vamos a explicar el porqué de la metodología, la importancia de la conferencia que pudimos compartir con la doctora Nuntika, y una sorpresa muy especial para las personas que estuvieron y están en este momento conectadas siguiendo la conferencia y el por qué se desarrolló en inglés. Vamos precisamente a compartirlo en un video que estaremos aperturándolo, en este último video que vamos a estar aperturando dentro de pocos minutos. Liz, y las recomendaciones también, gracias por esa traducción y gracias por haber estado en esta noche de domingo sacando un tiempo también para que nos hayas podido acompañar. Será hasta una próxima también oportunidad, Liz. Muchas gracias.
Gracias a ustedes, un placer ayudarlos.
Perfecto, de esta manera nos estamos despidiendo también de la ingeniera Liz, nos despedimos de la doctora Nuntika y con ustedes, queridos amigos, nos estamos enlazando en poco para dar paso a nuestra última sección de este primer seminario internacional de medicina funcional y alternativa. Nos vemos en poco, queridos amigos. Recargamos de páginas 7 y 20, por favor.